we go. Very last lesson of the year before your final exam. Final review number 4. Okay, so I want to remind you just one last time that pretty much every topic that's going to be on your final exam is referenced in these review sheets, but not necessarily every one of them. So I would make it a point, if I were you, to also look back over your notes, your homeworks, and previous material we've done this year in addition to the final reviews, so that you're 100% prepared for your final. Your final will be, pay attention to Moodle for the time and the place that it's listed, okay? All right, so number 1 says triangle ABC. AC is 8, BC 17, AB is 20. So I draw the diagram up here, and you'll notice this is side, side, side. So whenever it's side, 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 we go with the law of cosines, and it wants to find the measure of the largest angle. The largest angle is always across from the biggest side. So since side C is 20, then it has to be angle C that we're looking for. C squared is A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. Substituting everything in, 20 squared is 17 squared plus 8 squared minus 2. This guy, 17, 8 cosine C. Now there is a little bit of a hiccup in here that some students experience. 20 squared is 400, 17 squared is 289, 8 squared is 64, and then minus 2 times 17 times 8 is negative 272 cosine C. And the mistake that you will see students make here is they'll combine all 3 of these terms. That's a mistake. That last term is attached to the cosine of C, which means it needs to be multiplied by the cosine of C according to the order of operations. So let's get everything on the side of the 400, the opposite side of the equal sign, and then divide. So these two add up to 353. I subtract that, and I get 47 is negative 272 cosine C. I divide by negative 272. That gives me negative 0.1798, and then I do second cosine on the calculator, and I get 100 degrees. Okay? So the big takeaway from that question is do not combine all of these terms on the right-hand side as long as that cosine of C is there. Only when you find the value of the cosine C can you combine them all. Okay, number 2. Accompanying diagram of right triangle CAR. Which equation can be used to find C? So as I look at C, what I notice is that C is opposite to 59, and then there's the hypotenuse of 15. So opposite and hypotenuse is sine. So the sine of 59 is C over 15. Remember SOHCAHTOA, right? SOHCAHTOA. Number 3, which set of numbers cannot be the measures of the sides of a triangle? And that would be choice 3. Any 2 sides have to add up to be greater than the third side, and 5 plus 7 only equals 12. It's not greater than 12. So choice 3 cannot be. We're down to number 4 now, where we have a diagram of triangle ABC, and it says that AB is 4x minus 3, BC is 2x plus 7, AC is 5x minus 1, and the perimeter is 58. So if you add up all of those sides, you get 58. Same side, same operation, combining like terms here. 6x, 11x, minus 3 and 7 is 4, minus 1 more is plus 3, is 58. Subtracting the 3, dividing by 11, I get x is 5. 4 times 5 minus 3 is 17. 2 times 5 plus 7 is 17. And 5 times 5 minus 1 is 24. A 17 and a 17 makes this isosceles. Choice 2. Number 5, we have, looking over here on the answers page, we have 12, and this little piece is 3, 8, and this big piece. The thing they're trying to get you to do here is use this 3, and you shouldn't. Little is to big, as little is to big. The side of the little triangle, 12, is to the side of the big triangle, and that's not 3, it's 15, right? 12 plus 3, that makes up the whole side. As the side of the little triangle, 8, is to the corresponding side of the big triangle, x. Cross multiply, 12x is 120, so x is 10. Number 6, similar question. We've got another little is to big is little is to big thing. 2 is to 7, right? 2 plus 5 is 7, as 4 is to x. Cross multiplying, 2x is 28, x is 14. Okay, next, number 7. And I actually think I went up here. Where did I do number 7? I think I might have skipped number 7. I apologize for that. Let me do it in my head here real quick to tell you at least what the answer is. It's the negative of b. b is negative 5, so it has to be positive 5. So it's either choice 1 or choice 3. So now the question is, what does b squared minus 4ac equal? B squared would be 25 minus 4 times 1 times negative 2. Negative 4 times 1 times negative 2 is plus 8. 25 plus 8 is 33. So we have choice 3 on number 7. Sorry I didn't write that one out for you. Okay, 8a. Perform the indicated operation, simplify. Factor and cancel, factor and cancel. So the first one would be x minus 3 times x plus 2, right? The next one would be 3x minus 1 times x minus 3. That's one of those plan B factorings where you have to multiply that lead coefficient by the last term and then divide it back in. We did a lot of work with that earlier in the year, so I'm sure you can do it. The next one is 4x plus 1 times x minus 2. Similar way to do that. And then x plus 2, x minus 2, difference of two perfect squares, canceling out. X minus 2's, x plus 2's, x minus 3's. That leaves me with 4x plus 1 over 3x minus 1. Now, to add, you need a common denominator. So I factor out the x squared minus 9, and that's x plus 3x minus 3. And on the right, we had 5 over x minus 3, x minus 6 in the numerator on the left. So what does the denominator on the left have that the right needs? It needs an x plus 3. And what does the denominator on the left have or need that the one on the right has? And the answer is nothing. They're all there already. So I distribute the 5 to get 5x plus 15. I keep my denominator the same. X plus 5x is 6x. Negative 6 plus 15 is 9. Or you could factor it and get 3 times 2x plus 3 over x plus 3x minus 3. Either of those is fine and acceptable. Number 9, which two angles are not always congruent? Well, if I have BGH and DHG, I don't know how you want to look at it, but one's obtuse, one's acute, so they're not going to be congruent. Another way to look at it is that they're consecutive interior angles, which are always supplementary and add up to 180. And if you did drag and drop, they'd end up next to each other making a straight line, which makes them supplementary. So any way you look at it, choice 1. Number 10, cross multiply. Here's your work. 2 over x plus 1 equals x. Cross multiply. X times x plus 1 is 2. Distribute. X squared plus x, get it on the same side. Minus 2 is 0. Factoring. X plus 2 times x minus 1 is 0. And I'm trying to save space here, so I'm not showing every step. X works out to be negative 2 or 1. Number 11, and you know at some point on your final you're going to have one like this because we worked these so hard during the year. Starts off as 6 by 8, and then you put a perimeter around it of x because it's the same amount all the way around. What's the, what does it say here? What are the dimensions? What's the amount to the nearest tenth that the dimensions will be increased? So that amount is x, okay? So for the new length and the new width is 2x plus 8 because you have an x here and an x here, and that's 8, so 2x plus 8. And likewise, an x here and an x here and a 6 here, 2x plus 6. So 2x plus 6 times 2x plus 8 has to equal 150. I double distribute. 4x squared plus 16x plus 12x plus 48 is 150. Subtract the 150 to get it all on one side. 4x squared plus 28x minus 102 equals 0. Factor out that 2, and I'm left with 2x squared plus 14x minus 51 is 0. I try to factor it. It gets me absolutely nowhere. So I plug it into the quadratic formula, and it works out to be, I could have a possible negative length of negative 19.3 or a positive length of 5.3, and 5.3 clearly has to be the answer because you cannot have a negative length. Okay. Number 12, we're going to do another linear regression. So in L1, you go to Stat Edit. On L1, you list these years. Under L2, you list these percents. Then You go to Stat Calc. The fourth one down is linear regression. It'll tell you A equals 35.49, rounded off. That's why it goes here in front of the X. And B is 70,149.35. Okay. And then if I substitute 2009 for the year, which is X, it comes out to be 11.5%. Last step of the way. Little trig question here. Accompanying diagram shows the plans for a cell phone tower. It has to be built near a busy highway. Find the height of the tower to the nearest foot. So 32 degrees, 65 degrees, this is 100 feet. There's a few different ways to do this, but I think the easiest is probably to do the law of sines. So if this guy's 32, this guy's 65, which makes it 115 over here, and 32 and 115 add up to 147, so that makes the one up top 33 degrees. So the sine of 33 will be to 100, as the sine of 32 is to this missing side here. I cross multiply, and I get that x is going to equal 100 sine 32 over sine 33, and that gives me that x is 97.3. So this length right here, the hypotenuse of the right triangle on the right-hand side, is 97.3. And then I just say the sine of 65 is the tower, I call it y, over 97.3. And that cross multiply 97.3 times the sine of 65. That works out to be 88. All right, listen, if you have any questions or anything you need help with, make sure you send me an email. I'll help you out. We'll find a way. And good luck on your final exam. Kick butt. Have a great day. And thank you for a great course. Bye-bye.